Alright, so I wasn't going to make a video like this, but I think vlogging is out of the question for today, and if you guys live in Canada, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Nope. Nope. But at any rate, I still want to get a video out this week, so I'm going to actually show you guys the most basic content creators video that's in every single YouTube channel, and that is what's in my camera bag 2022. What's going on, guys? KY Not Kai the Creative, and we're going to be talking about what is in my camera bag 2022. Now, I've recently made a couple of upgrades to stuff that I bring in my kit, but we're going to go through all the tech, all the gear that I bring on shoots, whether it be for vlogging, run and gun video, and stuff like that. Now, this video is a little bit interesting because this is brought to you by Tiffin's Domke Everyday Backpack. So I'm actually going to talk a little bit about the design of this Tiffin Everyday Backpack. So the Domke Everyday Backpack is one of those backpacks that don't necessarily scream I'm a camera bag, which I like a lot about camera bags nowadays. I do a lot of traveling around the world, so I do like having backpacks that are a little bit more inconspicuous, that don't scream I have a lot of expensive equipment. My favorite thing is that it's water resistant. So we're getting into kind of the tail end of winter, although it's snowing, but it is going to start raining in May and April and stuff like that. So I do want a backpack that's weather resistant, or at least water resistant. So what that means is if you pour water on this guy, it's not going to seep through as badly as you would. I wouldn't necessarily recommend submerging it completely into a pool or anything like that, but if it's raining outside, if it's snowing outside, any sort of moisture or water that could come from the sky or even a cup of water, the bag actually protects from a lot of those things. Another thing, it does feature two side pockets. Now, one side I use to kind of store filters or water bottles or anything like that, and the other side is where I put my tripod, which we will see later on in this video. You can actually remove all the little like pocket flaps and boxes in here. So if you don't have camera gear, you want to just use this as like an everyday backpack to kind of put books in or anything like that, then you have those options available to you. All right, so the first thing we're talking about in my everyday camera bag, my carrying kit, is gonna be my camera. So I actually carry two different cameras. Now, this camera has changed a little bit as of late, but what I do carry is the Sony FX3 and the new Sony a7 IV. Now, the reason why I carry two cameras is one, is this is my main videography driver. If I'm doing things like commercial video or run and gun shoots for clients and stuff like that, being somebody in the fitness industry that creates a lot of content in that space, you have to have a kit that's really ready to go, that's super quick, that doesn't take a long time rigging, because a lot of times you're shooting for only 2 or 3 hours, you're in and you're out, and you want to still have high quality video. So I do turn to the Sony FX3 for stuff like that. Now, this is a recent addition, and it might actually take the place of the FX3 depending on how things go, but this is a Sony a7 IV. Now, this is a new camera. A lot of people have been talking about it recently, but this is a new camera that I've added into my bag. Now, I did have the Sony a7 III before, and I decided that I was going to do the upgrade to this camera. When I'm gonna do vlogs, or when I wanna do behind the scenes content, I want it to be high quality, or any other things like that that's not necessarily kind of linked to my cinema kit from the FX6 and FX3, this is what I'm gonna be using in the Sony a7 IV. Now, next thing we're gonna talk about is lenses. So I do only carry about 3 lenses in my kit. I got rid of the 85. I used to use it quite a bit when I was doing a lot of outdoor portraits and stuff like that, but I found that I need it less and less. So I am using the 20mm Sony G lens, the 1.8, and what I like about it a lot is it has a lot of the features that you would find in a G Master lens. So it's great for wide angle portraits, it's great for wide angle video, it's also a really good vlogging lens. It's light, it's compact, and it's not as big as some of the other lenses that are on the market. And the next lens I'm gonna talk about is one of my favorites. This is the Sony G Master 35mm 1.4. I have talked about this lens and I've shot with it quite a bit. This is like my perfect social media Instagram lens. If you need environmental portraits, really dope video, and you have that 1.4 so you can really punch out the background and have things looking nice and sharp. The color is great on it, and obviously it's a G Master, so the quality is gonna be there, and you're gonna get all the lens features that you want. But I actually am shooting on the 24-70 Sigma lens. This is a really great lens as well for all around run and gun filmmaking, especially if I'm using something like the Sony FX3, and it's great. It's an all-around lens. You can get a lot of use out of it. You can do quite a few things with that particular lens, and it does have that zoom range at 24-70 as well as the f2.8 for a pretty decent low light. It's not a specialty at it, but with the ISO features that are on some of the cameras nowadays, particularly Sony, it doesn't make a difference, and it's a really great lens. Next is going to be our drone setup. So it's been a little while since I've been able to use a drone. I think when the beginning of the pandemic started, I actually sold my Mavic 2 Pro because you know, you need to pay rent somehow. And I've recently been able to get the Mavic Air 2S. Now, I am doing a lot of travel. I am doing a lot of traveling video. So I wanted to make sure that I got something like a drone in case I needed a different angle, just give another perspective. And I have a really big soft spot for drone photography and drone video. Now, Tiffin to mention them again, also sent me the filters for the Mavic Air 2S, which we're actually going to compare to the filter set that comes with the Fly More combo in a later video. So speaking of DJI products, this is the DJI Osmo Pocket 2. Now this is a great thing for behind the scenes or time lapses or stuff like that. It's a little tiny camera. I haven't used it as much as I wanted to, but with a lot of the shoots and a lot of the content I have coming up, this is gonna come in handy, especially if I just need something that I could set it and forget it. Now with having a lot of cameras, you also have to have a lot of battery. So this might be a little bit controversial amongst the filmmaking community, but I do have the Sony genuine batteries. I have about 3 of them, but I also keep 2 newer batteries. Now these are like backup emergency options. Maybe I'm on a long shoot and I just need a little bit more battery life to last me through like a photo shoot or a video shoot. My only Sony Z batteries have run out. So what I do is I keep those in my bag. Now, are they gonna give you the most battery life compared to some of the genuine batteries? Absolutely not. But they do come in handy, they do come in clutch, and I do like using them quite a bit, especially if I'm in a pinch for some extra battery life. Next thing is going to be my tech pouch. Now, this is a great utility item for a lot of you filmmakers, a lot of you content creators. If you wanna keep things like cables or anything in your bag, things like Allen keys and other little small knickknacks that you wanna keep that you don't want floating around your bag, scratching up your equipment, I actually picked up this tech pouch. So I just grabbed it from Amazon. There's no particular brand to it, but it does have a lot of the most important things that I need. Now, video isn't video without a microphone. So this is the Rode VideoMic NTG. Now, this is great because it has a little gain dial that's on it as well. It fits right on top of your camera, just like a normal Rode microphone would. And it's nice, it's compact, and I like the Rode system a lot for your run and gun filmmaking, your vlogs and stuff like that. And I'm really fond of this mic. Now, another piece of audio equipment that I do keep in my camera bag is to have a pretty decent lav microphone. So this is a Sennheiser G4 lav. Now, a lot of people use the Rode mic variation of a lavalier mic, but I like the fact this has not only XLR, but 3.5mm jack as well. The battery operated, has really good audio, and yeah, if I ever want to do a video with a lav mic or anything like that, this is the lav microphone that I use. Now, talking about memory, we're gonna talk about these SD card cases. So these are from Kiwi Photo. These are an Amazon brand. I do have a bunch of SD cards. I do have a couple cameras. I do have the A7 IV, the FX3, and I have an FX6 as well. So I do value having a really strong SD card case, especially to make sure that I don't break any of the SD cards when I'm on a shoot, and something to keep them safe. Now, normally this goes into my tech pouch, but before I put it into something like a pouch, I make sure that it's in a nice hard case to keep my SD cards protected. Now, if you've been doing any sort of vlogging or YouTube or anything like that, you guys probably have the Joby GorillaPod. Now, this goes in my bag, but I have a kind of love-hate relationship with this thing. I mean, you do use it as a handle to kind of put your camera on top of so you can talk to the camera and make it easier for you. But what I hate is that these legs kind of, they're weird. They don't really, there's not a really good way to get them on, like, level a lot of the time, but it is great for a handle, and this is a 3K kit, so it is fairly affordable. So if you are somebody that vlogs and you're willing to have the patience to kind of set this guy up and not lose your mind entirely, then getting something like a Joby GorillaPod is really great if you're a run and gun YouTube filmmaker. Now, a little bit unorthodox, but I do keep a spare V-mount battery in my bag. Now, the reason why I want to do that is not necessarily to set up a cage or a rig or anything, although I do that quite a bit, but this also has a USB port out. So if I want to charge things like the newer batteries I was talking about, or any battery really, I can actually just use a USB cable, plug it into this V-mount battery, and I actually can start charging things on the fly. So if I want to charge a battery, maybe I want to charge my phone, or maybe I want to charge my Apple Watch because it dies quite a bit, I could just use a USB cable, plug it into here, leave it in my backpack, and while I'm shooting or while I'm out and about, it'll actually start charging for me, negating having to go and find a wall outlet and stop at a coffee shop to go and get things done, and to make sure that my batteries are charged. Now, I do keep a couple filters in my bag, so I do have a couple of filter cases to make sure that my filters don't crack. So having filters for your camera is a great way to enhance your look or to actually adjust your exposure. And it's really great to have these filters and have them in your bag for any occasion. It really comes in clutch when you need to adjust your exposure, you're looking for a certain look, and you need something that's light and compact to fit into your backpack to make sure that you can get whatever you're looking to achieve. I do keep an SD card reader that goes into my bag. Now, this is great if I want to do some editing on the fly, or I want to just dump footage, especially when I'm on like documentary shoots and stuff like that. A lot of our workflow means that we're dumping footage constantly, especially when we're on the fly, and we make sure that it gets onto the hard drives and gets put into 2 different situations. So if I didn't bring this with me, it'd be a little bit hard to making sure that my footage is nice and backed up and in a safe place. So as you can see here, we're a little bit underexposed, which means in situations like these, a light comes in handy, which brings me to another item that Tiffin makes, and I'm quite surprised because I honestly thought they just made filters, but this is the Lowell Blender XL, which is a sister brand of Tiffin. So for all intents and purposes, this is a Tiffin light. Now, this is really handy because it does have a V-mount battery attachment to it as well. So if I want to attach this to a V-mount battery to give it power, stick the battery in my pocket and use it as a run and gun one light setup, especially if I'm shooting in gyms and stuff like that, and you're back backlit and you need a little bit of motivation, this is a light that works out pretty well, and it's pretty bright. Ow. Jesus. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be the iPad mini. Now, this is the latest generation of the iPad mini, as well as the Apple Pencil that's on here too. Now, a lot of people use this for things like Procreate and watching videos on a plane or anything like that, even keeping some of your production notes and stuff like that, which I do as well, but I want to use for this iPad mini is actually as a marketing device. So a lot of times when I'm vlogging or I'm out at some of the fitness expos and stuff like that, you're meeting new people, and sometimes people haven't heard of you yet, and they want to kind of know the work that you do. What I do is I actually keep a lot of my favorite jobs, a lot of my favorite videos and photos on this iPad. So what it acts as is kind of like a portfolio book. So in the olden days when photographers wanted to show people their portfolios, they'd have this photo book of all of their work. Now my iPad, I'm treating as the exact same thing for video. So if I want to show people ad campaigns that I've worked on or some of the behind the scenes stuff, or even if I want to just show some of my YouTube videos, I'm going to start using this iPad as kind of a networking tool so you can see what my work looks like right away on a nice high resolution screen. As now these are SSD backup drives. These are the Samsung T7 hard drives. I do opt for the SSD drives. They're a little bit more expensive. Actually, they're a lot more expensive, but it is worth it to make sure that you have secure data, you have secure backups, and your transfer speeds are nice and quick so you don't spend a bunch of time waiting for footage to upload before you start shooting over again. This is a newer tripod. Now, to be honest, with little mirrorless tripods, like things that are traveling and things that move around quite a bit and don't really necessarily have to be for a studio setup, I like having like these little tiny, really cheap, newer tripods. I haven't had a ton of problems with them. And what I like about this, guys, you could actually set it up to be an overhead rig as well. So if I want to do top-down videos and stuff like that, and I don't want to set up another C-stand, I honestly have just been using this newer tripod. So in other videos where you do see top-down angles for things, I've just been using this guy. And the last thing that's going to go in my bag is a MacBook Pro 13-inch M1 MacBook. So this is actually the first version of the M1, and I haven't necessarily felt a need to want to switch just yet. Now, I do know there's a bunch of new MacBooks out in terms of the M1 Pro, Max, Ultra, Optimus Prime, whatever you want to call it, but there are a bunch of new MacBooks that are out. I just haven't found a reason to switch. Now, this edits all of the footage and all of the vlogs and all of my even commercial projects and promo stuff that I do for brands and other clients and stuff like that. So I haven't felt a need to go upgrade a new MacBook. Now, this is also super portable. So if I want to edit when I'm on the plane, or maybe I'm in the back of an Uber on a long trip, and I could also edit some photos on here as well. So this is a great tool, especially if you are someone that travels and you're someone who's very mobile and you're moving around a lot, filmmaking or doing photography, and you want to just kind of pull up to somewhere and start editing or start working on some of the other things on your business. This is a great tool to have. And this is my main driver, actually, in terms of my editing machine for a lot of the videos and the photos that you'll see on this channel. So this is the backpack all filled up. Now, it's a little bit thick, it's a little bit heavy. I can't really pick it up with one hand because there's a lot of camera equipment that's in here, but I did take this on a trip to the United States where I went from Alabama to Atlanta to Miami, and this bag came in handy and it actually fit all my stuff, and it was super durable and held all of my camera equipment for that 3-week trip. So this is everything that's going to be in the bag. This is everything that I carry for my run and gun shoots, when I shoot fitness, when I do photography, when I'm doing social content like vlogs and reels and stuff like that. And I really hope that you guys learned something and you actually got a chance to see what goes into my camera bag for 2022. Shameless plug here. If you haven't noticed that there's a lot of Tiffin things in here, if you use my link in the description down below, if you want to pick up any of the Tiffin products that you saw in this video, you're going to be able to do that, and I do get a little bit of a kickback when you do. So if you are interested in any of the Tiffin products that I had mentioned here today, including this Domke everyday bag, you can go ahead and do that. Now, I'm going to sign off on the video here. There's a lot more coming. There's a lot more in terms of the A7 IV that I just picked up, a lot of testing, and I can't wait to show you guys that. So if you guys like this video, make sure you comment, you share, subscribe, do all the things that YouTubers harass you to do. It does help out a lot, especially because it helps me motivate and give me the resources and the means to actually create more videos for you guys. So that being said, this has been KY Not Kai the Creative, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. I gotta turn this thing off now.